Welcome to GEPL Capital's another market outlook video. I'm Sanket Bendre from the Fundamental Research team, and in today's video, we will be discussing on certain topics, which will include certain AI Capex as well as the India's GDP growth rate, as well as certain other topic geopolitical pointers as well. So let me share my screen, and we will start the video right ahead. I hope my screen is visible now. Yeah, so as I mentioned, we'll be discussing on the geopolitical gravity. So on the left-hand side, we can see we saw some energy and supply shocks over the last few months due to the ongoing conflict, due to the Middle Eastern conflict, however, which is now put on hold as US and Iran has now currently signed an MOU which have hold the war for the next 60 days, and we are seeing that the Iran won't be using the nuclear weapons, and as a result of that, the MOU was signed between both the countries, and we saw that the war has been put on hold, as well as the Strait of Hormuz has now been opened, which should further continue to increase the supply of oil in the market once all the ships in the Strait of Hormuz are released. So there are some of the positive news that happened in this week, and this US-Iran situation was one of the forces of disruption that occurred in the last few months. However, there are some pillars of resilience, which includes the post GFC consumer and corporate balance sheets incident against rate volatility as well as the expected Q1 bank earnings robust should be there. Then global EPS forecast has been actually revised, as well as there are some economic surprises with baseline macroeconomic data continuing to structurally beat expectations. In this slide, we'll be discussing about the AI part, which has been one of the key themes in the market. So we are seeing that AI hardware supremacy has been seen in the market and which are leading to earnings visibility in this company as a structural scarcity. However, on the software side, we are seeing like some disruption, and most of the not only Nifty IT but global IT companies were impacted due to this AI-led capex by most of the companies, as now AI capex is approximately 80% of the US's incremental GDP growth. So all in all, we are seeing a good amount of money has been flowing in this AI thing, and we have seen that most of the FIs have been flowing towards the South Asian markets, which includes Korea as well as Japanese market, which are focused on the AI part of this theme. In the US dollar trajectory, so despite the high energy prices and geopolitical stress, the USD has failed to strengthen meaningfully, eventual Fed easing points toward gradual sustained weakness. So we have seen in the recent, and just 2 days back only, US Fed has kept their interest rate on a stagnant side, and they have kept the rate at 3.25 to 3.75%. And despite we are seeing inflation in the economy, so that will be another thing to watch out for, as we have not gotten any forward-looking statement from the US Fed, and we could see some rate hikes given inflation has been continuing to increase in the US economy. In this slide, this is about the Indian economy. So the growth engine, the Q4 FY26 GDP came at 7.8%, and with Services PMI saw the highest expansionary momentum since November. So however, April 2026 CPI inflation came at 3.48%. This was driven by sticky cost in the food and services, and as a result of that, we are seeing that increase in inflation. So further, we saw fuel price hikes, so that should also impact the minimum CPI inflation data, and further the El Nino kind of effect we are facing in the Asian continent overall. So that will further lead to increase in inflation. So this overall situation could worsen in the upcoming months and may impact the Indian markets as well, as the El Nino situation could severely impact agricultural part of the Indian market, and we could see some good amount of increase in inflation rates, especially on the consumption side. So that will be another thing to watch out for, and we'll discuss that in detail in the next video as well. So I hope you like this video, and if you like this video, then do like, share, and subscribe GEPL Capital's YouTube channel as well. Thank you.